What's up, Cedar Park? Welcome back from Thanksgiving break. First up, let's dive into a life as a sophomore starter.
A look into NASA's new moon orbiting mission.
Your Monday sports report and more.
Turn it up because the Wolfcast starts now. Good morning, Cedar Park High School. I'm Reagan Hill, joined by Jack Polishuk and Katie Whitmarsh.
While this year's football season may be over, it formed a foundation for future success. Reporter Kira Cox has more on how Cedar Park's Black Rain is building more than just a football team.
Thanks, Jack. That's especially true for the younger players. Being the first sophomore to start the season on varsity, Garrett Nichols had 39 tackles and 1 interception. Garrett's sophomore season as a starter for the Black Rain set a standard for the next generation of T-Wolves.
My name is Garrett Nichols. I play cornerback. I've had a lot of great people around me that have helped me get to where I am right now, like a lot of coaches and just like people around me that have like pushed me to be better.
Beginning to play football at the age of 6, Garrett Nichols has been playing for almost a decade. But even with all that time, starting on varsity as a sophomore was a big transition.
I was a little bit worried about it just because I didn't know a lot of like the upperclassmen at the beginning of the season. But it actually has been really easy because all the upperclassmen are really welcoming and like they treated me just like one of them. And we have a great culture throughout the locker room and everyone is just like, I have no complaints at all about anyone on our team.
At the end of the 2021 season, Garrett got to move up to varsity for the playoffs. This also meant that he got to be on a team with his older brother, Grant.
That was probably one of the best experiences like I've had so far throughout football, even though I didn't get to play obviously, but it was really cool being on the same team with my brother because he's 3 years older than me, so I never had the opportunity to play with him before, but it was just really cool being on the same field for his last year.
While the season wrapped up sooner than we wanted, they are already working to prepare for next season with spring practice starting up in May.
Thanks, Kira. The Artemis 1 mission's Orion spacecraft has officially launched its voyage to the moon. The unmanned launch was delayed 3 times earlier this year, once for engine issues, one for a full fuel leak, and the last for Hurricane Ian passing through the launch area. But finally, the Artemis 1 lifted off to travel to the moon, around and back earlier this month. The launch was important to happen this year since it was the 50th anniversary of the last mission in the Apollo program. This will set the groundwork for future space travel to not just the moon, but also Mars and other places in our solar system. The third mission is planned to take people, specifically 1 woman and 1 person of color, back to the moon's surface. A CSA engineer working on the Kendar 3 for the missions, Epitasam Karyasium, explains the importance of the Artemis.
Reaching the moon will allow us to go deeper in space and answer more questions about where we come from and the origin of the Earth. We've learned through many researches that rocks don't degrade the same way on the moon, and we might be able to find some ancient rocks of the Earth on the surface of the moon, which could help us better understand our past. So I think that's one of the exciting things.
Watch out for the next launch in the new era of lunar voyages.
Up next, Ilyana Tangarova has the top 3 things you need to know for today, but first, these announcements.
Good morning, Cedar Park. First up, Austin's annual Turkey Trot, hosted by Thundercloud Subs, returned for the 32nd year in downtown Austin on Thanksgiving morning. Dressed in their Thanksgiving best, roughly 16,000 hit the ground running between 2 different races, a 1-mile race and a 5-mile race. The races started at the Long Center between 9 and 10 a.m. All of the proceeds from the event were donated to the Caritas of Austin organization, which aims to help homelessness and other housing issues in Austin. Since its start in 1991, the event has raised nearly $4.5 million for the nonprofit. Next up, the holiday season has arrived. Starting now, you can buy your tickets for Austin's Trail of Lights attraction. Starting on December 8th, instead of driving through, you can traverse the glowing paths on foot. General admission tickets are only $5, and you can buy your tickets on austintrailoflights.org. Lastly, the international soccer competition, the World Cup, started a week ago, September 18th, so if you'd like to keep up with those matches, you can watch them on the Fox Sports TV channels or ESPN+. So, what do you guys think?
You know, I'm currently too broke to buy ESPN Plus or Cable Plus Delta or whatever, but I have been watching a lot of highlights on YouTube of like some of the games, and it's actually really exciting. I've never like watched football before, but it's really cool.
Reagan, you are our soccer connoisseur.
Yes.
So give us your intel.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I've been watching it very little for the amount of like, you know, honestly, I've been seeing all these TikToks of all these women being like, oh my gosh, look at all the players. And like, I shouldn't be saying this as like a soccer connoisseur, but like, I've been seeing a lot of more women getting into watching like the World Cup and like, everything because of the men that are playing, to be honest.
I mean, I don't blame them. Yeah. I've never watched the World Cup before. And then I watched, because I watched it with my brother, the USA versus England match, which nothing happened.
I mean, it was 0-0, not that
it was entertaining.
So you're telling me people watch football only for the guys that are 400 feet away and can't even see them?
I'm not just saying all the women, but I've seen a lot of TikToks on just women being like, oh my gosh, that's my player, and then they know nothing about the sport of soccer. They're just watching for the men. So
support
them.
Interesting. All right, thanks, Ileana. Coming up next, Katie and Reese have your Monday sports report, but first this break.
We're CPHS Choir, and you're watching the Wolfcast.
Hello, Cedar Park, and welcome back to the Wolfcast Sports Report. I'm Katie Whitmarsh.
And I'm Risa Elizondo.
Over the break, we had both the girls and boys basketball teams putting in some work, starting with the Lady Timberwolves. After four hard-fought games in the McDonald's Texas Invitational against strong teams like Hardin-Jefferson, Katy Seven Lakes, and Cy Creek, the girls came up short by just a few points each time. Coming up this week, the team travels to Waco University High School. Last time they played on their court, Cedar Park blew them out 92-22. So let's hope that this year's game can be just like that.
And for the guys, after falling to Vista Ridge last Monday 51-36, Cedar Park is looking for their first win of the season as they play McNeil tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Good luck, boys. And in other news, we want to give a big shout out to cross-country superstar Isabel Koenig-Frankenberg for winning the Nike Cross Regionals and her impressive 5,000 meter time of 17 minutes and 23 seconds.
Amazing job, Isabel. We can't wait to see what's coming next.
And that's all we have for you today with CPHS News. I'm Katie Whitmarsh.
And I'm Risa Elizondo. Now over to Kira for your Scholarship of the Week.
Thanks, Reese. This week's scholarship is the Create a Greeting Card Scholarship. This scholarship is for all high school students. Requirements include a completed entry form and an original photo or piece of artwork for the front of a greeting card. The scholarship is worth $10,000 and will be awarded based on the design that receives the most votes. The deadline to submit an entry is March 2nd. That's all I have for you today. For more information, you can check out gallerycollections.com. With CPHS News, I'm Kira Cox. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kira. That's all we have for you today, so make sure you're keeping up with all of our content, so head on over to our YouTube at CPHS News.
You can also follow at CPHS_sports for updates during the games.
Stay tuned for tomorrow's show about Native American Heritage Month, the star of wrestling season, and learn about genetics and neuroscience club.
Thanks for taking time to join us this morning.
With CPHS News, I'm Katie Whitmarsh.
I'm Jack Polishuk.
And I'm Reagan Hill. Remember to make it a great day or not, the choice is yours.